Lewis Hamilton surely had his sights set higher than P5 at the Italian Grand Prix. After dominating in FP2 and FP3, showing blistering speed at the famed Temple of Speed, the 7-time world champion was left frustrated after a disappointing qualifying session. Hamilton didn't shy away from criticising his own performance, knowing that he had the pace but just couldn't piece it all together when it counted. Although he managed to climb up one position to finish P5 in the race, it wasn't the result he had been hoping for. Despite strong showings in practice, with Hamilton topping both FP2 and FP3 and dominating Q2, Mercedes couldn't carry that momentum into qualifying or the race. Hamilton finished 22.8 seconds behind race winner Charles Leclerc and openly acknowledged the team's struggles. When asked about the balance of the W15, Hamilton's assessment was straightforward. It was okay, nothing special. Either the left front was graining or the left rear. We just didn't have the pace. For the 2024 Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku, Mercedes is bringing several crucial upgrades aimed at improving the overall performance of their W15, continuing their quest to close the gap with McLaren. These updates reflect Mercedes' evolving strategy for the season, marked by a new technical approach under the leadership of returning technical director James Allison. Baku's circuit is known for its unique combination of long straights and slow-speed corners, challenging teams to find the perfect balance between downforce and straight-line speed. While bigger upgrades are expected at future races, Baku remains a critical race in the F1 calendar. Baku is often seen as a transitional race, a bridge between the early part of the season and the significant upgrades that teams typically unveil at races like Singapore and circuits of the America. However, that doesn't mean there won't be any upgrades. While most teams are holding off on major changes, Mercedes is expected to bring track-specific adjustments to enhance performance on this challenging circuit. The team is still working on data from previous upgrades, particularly the new floor they introduced earlier in the season. Baku could play to Mercedes' strengths, especially since it shares similarities with Spa, where Mercedes performed well. The main upgrades include a new rear suspension and modifications to the front wing. These changes aim to improve downforce and stability, especially on the high-speed Baku circuit, which is known for its long straights and sharp corners. The rear suspension upgrade is expected to provide better control over the car's aerodynamics and handling through these complex sections. Moreover, Mercedes is introducing changes to the floor design, specifically improving airflow to reduce drag and increase top-end speed, critical for a track like Baku. This will be complemented by a revised rear wing end plate designed to enhance aerodynamic efficiency and reduce turbulence, giving the car better cornering stability and braking performance. Looking ahead to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, Hamilton remains optimistic. He believes Mercedes will arrive armed with some much-needed updates, hoping to give him the tools to compete at the sharp end of the grid once again. The frustration of Monza is still fresh, but the hunger for redemption in Baku is palpable. Speaking to the paddock after the race at Monza, Lewis Hamilton revealed that updates for the W15 are on the way. "We definitely have some updates, yeah," Hamilton confirmed, hinting at improvements on the horizon. "There's definitely some performance to come over the next few races. We'll find out when we get there." He tempered expectations, noting that while the upgrades are on the table, they're small bits rather than a transformative overhaul. "I don't know if we have anything huge coming, but hopefully we have some more performance." With his sights set on victory number 106 and his 85th win for Mercedes, Hamilton remains focused on what would be the perfect chapter in one of the most iconic driver-team partnerships in F1 history. "I'm hoping we can make some progress," he said, optimistic about the upcoming races. Acknowledging that some tracks might suit the W15 better than Monza, Hamilton added, "I hope we get another shot at fighting for a win at some stage." It's clear that while the championship may be out of reach, the hunger to return to the top step of the podium burns just as bright. Mercedes' updated W15 package, introduced at Spa and carried into Monza, has left more questions than answers. Andrew Chauvelin, Mercedes' trackside engineering guru, admitted they weren't expecting monumental performance leaps with the upgrade. Now, after Monza, they have to figure out if the changes have subtly altered the car's behaviour on track. Lewis Hamilton didn't hold back in his post-Italian GP reflection. After the team's third race with the updated floor and diffuser, Hamilton bluntly stated to the press, "We just didn't have the pace." Mercedes struggled not only with raw speed, but also tyre degradation. Hamilton's frustration was clear. They were consistently missing 1 or 2 tenths per lap. It was a familiar story at Monza, where the Silver Arrows finished 5th and 7th, marking a second consecutive podium miss after a 6-race streak that had included 3 wins. Yet, it wasn't all doom and gloom. Chauvelin acknowledged acknowledged some positives, explaining that the upgrades have indeed increased downforce as intended. "We've run comparisons over the last few races," Chauvelin said in the post-Monza debrief, "especially with the new floor, and we're confident it's generating the load we expected." He pointed to the team's analysis of forces through the suspension and pressure readings across the car, which align well with their wind tunnel data. It all suggests the updates are delivering on the downforce front, even if the gains were modest, as Chauvelin reminded everyone. It wasn't a huge step, it was always going to be a small package. But, like any good engineering puzzle, there's a twist. The big question Mercedes faces now is whether these changes have tweaked the car's handling in ways they didn't foresee. Though Hamilton felt the car was so much better during Saturday's qualifying, he still struggled with uncharacteristic mistakes, losing precious time. Meanwhile, George Russell was blunt in his race assessment, admitting Mercedes didn't have the pace to tussle with Ferrari and McLaren. Chauvelin admitted they now need to address the elephant in the garage. Has the upgrade subtly altered the car's handling characteristics? That's the tricky part, Chauvelin explained. It's hard to pinpoint because performance varies from track to track. Some circuits we've looked great, others, balance has been a nightmare regardless of the aero package. As Mercedes navigates the final leg of the season, they'll need to untangle whether it's the upgrades or just the car's temperamental nature that's caused the recent dip in form. Mercedes Formula One boss Toto Wolff has acknowledged that the team has lost quite a chunk of its performance since the strong run it enjoyed before the summer break. Mercedes had a streak of success, winning 3 of the 4 races before the break, including a 1-2 finish at Spa, though George Russell's disqualification later tarnished the result. Wolff pointed to tyre management, an area that worked well for Russell at Spa, as the team's Achilles heel in recent races. "I think we're able to extract strong pace over a single lap, which, on the surface, is good news," Wolff explained. "But when it comes to keeping the tyres in the right window for the race, that's where we've been struggling." This issue, which first reared its head after Zandvoort, has made finding the optimal balance more challenging. Reflecting on Monza, Wolff said, "We had significant front left graining, and it varied during the race. For George, it started early in the first stint. Later on, we dialed back our pace, trying to preserve the tyres and make a one-stop strategy work, but the graining reappeared. The problem wasn't just about pace, but also tyre degradation, which added a layer of unpredictability." Wolff empathised with the drivers, noting that managing the situation from the cockpit was far from straightforward. "As a driver, it was difficult to judge whether you could push to the end or not because you could see the front tyres graining, and once that starts, it's hard to hold on. With Baku just around the corner, Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton have a lot riding on these crucial updates. Will they finally find the breakthrough they've been chasing, or will the W15's unpredictable performance after the summer break continue to haunt them? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, goodbye for now.